Hey everyone, Kunal and Dan here, just to quickly give you a message before the start of this episode. Basically, we fucked up. We had Sid on a long time ago for episode 2 of the I May Regret This podcast, and very recently realized that the audio file got corrupted. So as a result, what we're doing is we recorded another episode with him this past week, and it would have been his second time on the show, which is why in the episode you might hear me refer to him as a recurring guest. It would have been episode 7 or 8 or something, but instead what we decided to do is we decided to just upload that now as episode 2 to make up for that file that we lost. So just thought I'd clarify that up at the top. And Daniel, is there anything else that you wanted to add before?
Okay. I would just like to take a quick moment to talk about something that's really been weighing on me for days.
Okay.
Since we recorded. So late in the episode, hopefully late enough that no one will be listening, I interrupted Sid, who was about to genuinely confess his favorite thing about me, to make a terrible reference to Shrek. Now, before you listen to the episode and inevitably lose all respect for me, I would just want to say that yes, I am ashamed. I am mortified. I'm appalled by my behavior. And yes, I know that my attempt at an accent was pathetic. I know that the line was wrong. And yes, I know it was poorly timed and not funny. I was under the influence of alcohol, and we don't always make the best decisions. But it was a decision I made, and I have to live with it every day. And just like I've said to Sid again and again, I'm so sorry.
Is this is a public apology?
It is.
Well, I hope we've given you guys more than enough to think about for just trying to start a simple episode of a podcast. So that's all from us. Without further ado, enjoy the episode.
You can only do so much, right?
You know, at that point, it's just like, go fuck your hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, go buy a nice hat from Lids and go fuck it.
Turn that shit up, got my diamonds dancing. Brought a bitch up, she another groupie banging. Got the whip up, phones, yeah, we living lavish. Hit the shisha.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another official episode of the I May Regret This podcast. I'm your host, Kunal Ragotra, joined by your other host, Daniel H. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay, also joining us in the studio today, we have our AV intern, Craig, always monitoring our levels, making sure we sound good, bringing our lovely voices to you. Craig, thank you so much for joining us. Today, we have yet another guest joining us for a very special episode, but before we get to the special episode, let me start with the guest. Today's guest may or may not have been on the episode or on the podcast before. I can't quite remember, but I'm just not sure if we painted a clear enough picture about him last time, so I figured I'd go ahead and start with that right now for anyone who doesn't know him. This guest is someone I personally can talk on and on about. I mean, for starters, he's someone who I view as, I guess, a friend, mentor, brother, lover, and I guess you can throw in a rude word in there as well, because I just don't want to gas him up too much. This is someone who truly knows, and I can't be more crystal clear with what I'm currently saying, literally knows how to meme himself into the weirdest situations possible, such as waking up one day and having your M1 and a motorcycle in your driveway. The dreams and aspirations of this person are above and beyond the stars, which is honestly why I can't even put into words how to describe them. But he's one of the only people I know, if not the only person I know, who can actually make them happen. He's a beast in the smartness regard, if that's a word, and he knows how to flex on social media like none other. I mean, half of what I've learned poorly, but have still learned, is from him in my social media game. He's taught me all sorts of things along the way, of course, along with the social media things, such as preparing for my first real job, just kind of making it through school, and how to get by when you're a bit too drunk to function. Aside from being able to beat me in 2K, or I guess any major video game for the most part, but mainly 2K, because that record is absolutely unsalvageable at this point, and there's no coming back.
I beat you.
Shut up for a sec. There's nothing this guy can't do, in my humble opinion. Whether it's making you laugh, opening up your mind to new perspectives, and sometimes looking at the deeper meaning, or trying to get you to help him to procrastinate on his work by gaming with him instead. This guy is always a pleasure to be around, and that is why we wanted him to join us on today's special episode. So without further ado, our guest is none other than the founder of Boys of the Future, Sid Pereira. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Holy shit.
What am I supposed to do? How do you respond when crying on a fucking podcast?
That was incredible.
Dude, oh my god. What an intro.
Yeah.
Well, we're pleased to have you.
Just for all of your listeners, I fucking am all those things. Okay, so just
I take everything back. I hate our
No.
guest. He was a last ditch effort. Got him on the call 5 seconds ago.
I also love the fact that you brought up that he really teaches you how to handle yourself when you're a bit too tipsy, because we're gonna see that in action right now.
just so you guys know, I wrote that script and sent it to Kanal at gunpoint and said, "This is what you're reading."
And I'm like, here, watch this, guys, and proceeded to read a 5-page essay that he sent me, but I had to cut it out a bit.
I'm super happy to be on here. I'm a big fan of the podcast. I love the two of you. Your chemistry's great, and for me, every minute I'm on this fucking podcast is a extendo on the smile on my face. So I'm really excited to get this going. Thanks for having
We're
me, guys.
excited to have you.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Absolutely. So, Daniel, you kind of
So
alluded to it
beautiful.
earlier. You said that I might need his guidance today while I'm getting tipsy tonight. What exactly do you mean by that? What do we got going on today?
So today we are all participating in a power hour, which for anyone who doesn't know is basically for 1 hour straight, every 60 seconds, we're going to take a shot of beer, which might not seem that bad, but really is going to add up by the end of it, especially like when you started drinking beforehand, like said.
What? No, that's crazy.
Yeah, let's quickly clarify. So, how much has everyone had going into this? I've had 2 beers. That's it, which isn't too much.
I've had like a half a beer.
Okay, and Sid?
'Cause-
I'm fucking 4 deep, dude.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we're all at different levels. This will be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer right now. And Daniel, the timer's going, and really, who cares? You haven't really told us what we're gonna be focusing on today. I don't know if we're gonna be splitting this episode up. What do we got going on today?
So today, the theme of today's discussion is going to be our insecurities. So we've all come prepared to divulge some insecurities about ourselves. But first, just to get us like warmed up, I've collected some listener questions for us to answer on the show. So
Okay.
you
And
guys
for the
ready
record,
to
I'm
go?
going in blind on these. I have
These
not
are
seen them.
anonymous, yeah. At least, hopefully, for most of these. Kanal doesn't know most of them, but Sid doesn't know any of them.
Perfect.
So I've
No, I
collected them.
definitely stayed
We're
away
answering
from the
them together.
Instagram and the email account, so I'm going in blind as fuck.
Yeah, we did our best. All right. So you guys good to go? First
Absolutely.
question?
Let's get
All
into
right,
it.
this one's just a warm up. This is just a would you rather.
Okay.
So, anonymous listener, would you rather get punched in the face by Mike Tyson in his prime, or get shot in the ass with a pistol?
Speaking of getting shot, ladies and gentlemen, that is our first shot we have upcoming right now.
Cheers, lads.
How about that?
So,
Okay, so
anyone?
I'm getting punched by Mike Tyson or what now?
Or you're getting shot in the ass by a pistol?
Ooh, okay. Punch by Mike Tyson, because I feel like the effort I'm gonna have to go through to make sure that pistol didn't do too much damage after the fact, it's gonna be far more than just eating one from Mike Tyson.
But in his prime, though, I feel like that's like
No, I
serious-
mean, I'll be
like-
sleeping, but like I feel like for the bullet, like you'll have to clean up the blood, get the bullet out of my ass, make sure it didn't.
I just
do
feel like
major.
my ass is like recoverable, unless it's like going through my leg or something.
Well,
Dude,
that's the thing,
guys,
how do you know?
If Mike Tyson hits me in the head, I'm gonna have permanent brain damage forever. I don't have I don't have a strong brain for that.
I'm
My
not
brain
built for
is
this.
not very strongly.
you might literally get paralyzed from a gunshot
Exactly.
to your ass. Okay?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Mike Tyson. I feel like
No,
you could get Mike
man.
Tyson for a punch.
Listen, at the end of the day, no offense to Mike Tyson and his record and greatness, I'm taking a shot by a fucking human being than getting shot by a gun.
Also, you guys are taking a shot right now. That was another minute that just passed.
All right.
But okay,
Cheers.
so I'm sorry. Am I the only one who's taken a punch from Tyson then?
No, I'm taking a punch from Tyson.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Daniel, you're just brain dead. Okay, perfect. That's
It's
what
just
I
a
needed to
little
hear.
shot in the
No,
boom
he's
boom,
gonna
that's
be
no big
brain dead
deal.
after the punch.
Correct. Absolutely. Wait, no, we're the ones getting punched.
Oh.
Daniel, next question, buddy.
Next question. So this one is from another. I think everyone is anonymous.
Yeah, we'll just leave them
This
all
one is
anonymous.
directed to you, Sid. So get ready.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Okay.
Why do you always need to compensate for your tiny penis at parties by standing on the speaker and yelling at the guests?
Oh yeah, that's a tough question. Actually, the answer is pretty easy to that.
Oh God, he's crying.
Oh
I,
my God.
I get hard actually when I
Jesus.
yell at people.
That's a shot.
Yeah. So
So, to compensate for your tiny penis, you get hard.
There you go. I just try to get it bigger. I scream as loud as I can, and once I get the blood flowing to the old peener, I feel better about it.
The
So
old
whoever sent this
peener.
question then was correct about their theory of you doing this to compensate for your penis?
Oh, 100%. Everything I
That's
do
very
in life,
interesting.
Kanal, is to
Okay.
compensate for my tiny penis.
Guys, let's stop this. I'm gonna need to edit my intro and let's run it back.
Some
I've
added
learned
information.
I've learned something. Okay.
All right.
Respectable.
Well, that was easy than I thought it was. I thought you were gonna cry about that, but you
Well, he
fully
did, but
embraced it, and
we
I
we
respect it.
literally cut out 10 minutes of silence and sobbing and sniffling, so I wouldn't give him that much credit.
Yeah, it's actually been 13 minutes. 7 of those I've been crying about my mom and my daddy issues. So
So let's take a shot, because that's another minute. Perfect timing. Saved by the bell.
to daddy issues.
All right,
So
Daniel,
you
what's your
stand on the
next question
speaker
here?
to compensate for daddy issues. Okay, cool. So moving on. This one's probably directed at just Kunal and I.
Okay.
This one's a pretty interesting question. So, what perspective do you have that warrants a podcast? And I actually
Excuse me.
can speak about it from me.
Yeah,
I'll
go
let you
ahead,
answer
because
after. But
I'm mad for some reason.
I
so-
think my perspective is that this guy's a little dickling, dude. Like, who does this guy think he is?
You know what, dude? Let's out him.
Oh,
Let's out him
yeah.
right now.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna out him.
I'd
No,
like
but
to
it's
hear-
honestly, I actually think it's a fair question because as much as I was joking about it, it is kind of like we don't really have a reason to be doing this.
I would
But
disagree.
here's what I think that I bring to the table.
Okay.
One is that I feel like we're funny enough, not that like we're hilarious comedians, but like that we can keep a conversation like light and I don't know, keep the jokes going, things like that when it gets dull. But two, I think like we're at the point where we're
Take a shot.
willing. Oh Jesus, we're willing to like divulge things about ourselves, like such as insecurities, which will like lead to like interesting discussion
Agreed.
that I think
Agreed.
people want to listen to. So,
So,
that's what I'm hoping as well.
What I would have to say to that, it's pretty similar. So, I mean, first of all, I think it depends on the nature of the podcast. It's not like we're doing some serious life advice podcast or a finance podcast, in which case I do not have the perspective or credentials to be able to do something like that. But for a podcast where we're just bringing our friends and trying to make people laugh, yeah, I think we kind of meet that requirement. I think we're not hilarious. We're funny enough. We're not amazing to talk to, but we're good enough. You guys are hearing my insecurities bleed out right now, actually.
I'm good enough. I am good enough, Dad. I am good enough.
But
I have a
I think-
podcast.
I-
Yeah, what do you do?
that's a shot, first of all. That's another minute.
Jesus.
yeah, that's wow.
But yeah, I would just say that it's literally just our ability. First of all, our friend group really helps us. That's a bailout right there. Just bring someone new on every week. But yeah, just our ability to kind of be a little funny and I guess somewhat entertaining to listen to. I hope, or
Yeah.
garbage. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, and frankly, like it doesn't really matter. I feel like I don't even care, dude. I don't care what anyone thinks at all. Like literally,
Next
like at
question,
all.
man.
So forgive me. I may have misinterpreted how we're doing these things here, but if you do want a serious answer,
Mhm.
right? And I kind of want to go back to the previous question, which is why do you stand up? And it's kind of there's 3 parts to that. So
Because I've been a little pissed about that. So real quick, that's a
but-
shot. Real quick, that's a shot, and then dive
Okay.
in.
Wow, this is really coming up quick. I mean,
Mhm.
I knew this was gonna happen, but wow.
I said this in the beginning, man. The minutes go by pretty quick. Okay. I love growing up. I always loved attention. Okay. I'm serious. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna get too much into my upbringing, but for me, it was always a self-defense thing to give myself the attention, to put myself in the spotlight, because I didn't particularly feel that I was getting it at home. So in small things that I do, like being in a party setting and things like that, I enjoy being the center of attention because there's 2 parts to it. One part, I feel genuinely good bringing everybody at the same energy level that I'm at, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I think part of our friend group does that as a whole anyway. I just enjoy and I'm totally comfortable kind of being up there and yelling and screaming and kind of saying, "Hey, let's get hype. Let's sing to the song."
Right, that's a
But
shot.
this-
Also, to finish your thought, but yeah,
Okay.
that's a shot. Yeah.
No, of course.
I don't know, please.
I think the second part to that is like I said, I do definitely enjoy the attention. And there's something about getting a crowd going that gets me high like nothing else. And you guys have been at some of the parties we've thrown, or do you know what I mean? Or some parties that we've attended.
Right.
And Daniel, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like once the crowd gets going and I know that I'm a direct result of that, there's just this like hair standing, like,
Into a
goosebump
different mode.
adrenaline feeling. Oh my god, I can't. It's
I guess it's
unparalleled.
probably like you're essentially doing the most you can to be like a pseudo artist, like as
Yeah,
if you're like throwing a concert or something. Like
hundred
you
percent,
that's the
hundred
most
percent,
you can do in your situation, sort of thing. You
100%.
still to still get that high, that rush.
And
So you're
going
not
back to that, I definitely like feeling the way I do doing that at a party. And whatever you guys think about this, you know what I mean? I do I see myself at some point getting into entertainment and having the spotlight all the time? I don't know. I can't sing or dance. I can dance actually. I can't sing or make music just yet, but I definitely enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
Right.
So
I think like especially because you didn't always do that. I feel like when you first started doing that, I am not the type to. I'm not like a big personality type of guy. So when there's other people with bigger personalities, like sometimes it can get kind of annoying. But I think definitely after a while, especially if you just like the person that's doing it, like I always loved you, so like it didn't really bother me that
Oh,
much. And it's kind of just like looking back, it's like it's awesome that we had. It's awesome that we had like parties where stuff like that happened, where like it was kind of out of the ordinary. We have a lot of stories from that. Those
so
types of
I have this
times.
video of myself standing on a chair hyping the crowd up,
mhm.
and you and I make eye contact,
And we
have
kiss.
this moment, honestly, like very close to kissing. And you're kind of like we're talking or something. In the background I see Uncle Crowd surfing. And I look at that, I'm like, that happened. That 100%.
Yeah.
I love this. But
Oh,
anyway, sorry. I was just thought I'd give you a more serious maybe answer to that question.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm sure the
yeah.
question asker very much appreciates that as well.
They don't even care.
I'm cool
Yeah, probably not.
though.
They probably just wanted you to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a fucking idiot. Oh, like, I didn't mean to do that."
And we won. How about a shot to that? Also, because another minute's passed. Dude, seriously, this is. I'm gonna need to go get more beer. I did not need. I would need this much already.
Is this a sprint? I got a stock load beside me, so I'm good. Okay, so the next question is a banger. So I want you guys to really take a pause and think about this one. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
Why do men chase women? And I think you know what? Something came to each of our minds, and we all know. We all know the reason. So I think on three, we all say the reason. We're all because we're all
You
thinking
count
the
it
same
down,
thing.
buddy. You count it
We're all
down.
right.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, titties.
I'm lonely.
Biological
What?
tendencies.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were gonna say tits.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't say lonely.
Oh.
Take a
Sorry,
shot.
what?
Saved by the bell.
Ooh, haha.
Oh, I didn't
Mm,
prep for this.
I
Shit.
think that is a very complex. Jesus, I think that's a very complex. We're only on shot 12, by the way, but yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I think that's a very complex
It
question.
is complex.
I think,
It's actually a quote from the movie Moonstruck, which I'm guessing most people haven't watched, but it's
myself included.
when Nicolas Cage's acting career was in his prime. So I
So
think not a lot of people remember that, but yeah, it was a
I
quality
think
line from the movie.
for me, what the answer to that would be is it's situational. So I think first of all, it depends on the guy. Like if this is your typical fuckboy who like has one straight answer and it's just like, oh, because I still slide puss on the weekends, then yeah, I mean, that's that douchebag and that's his answer. But I think it also like for some guys, it's like, yeah, it's literally just like 1 sec, we're about to hit a shot, so I'm gonna cut myself off. Let's take this real quick.
All right, go for it. I'm not gonna take one.
I think
No, I'm just kidding.
I think for some guys too, the answer would just be like, oh, like, I haven't really put myself out there enough. Maybe I want to now, or maybe like, I don't know if you recently got out of a relationship, you just miss kind of having that person, and that's why you want one. or like you want one, that was the worst thing I've ever said, but like want to talk to like a girl or something like that, or like want to have a girl involved in your life. So I think that it's honestly just dependent on what the guy's looking for and then what they see in a girl. If it's literally strictly a physical thing, like, oh, she looks nice, so like that's why I'm chasing after her. If it's like, oh, like I had literally one of the best conversations I've ever had with a woman with this girl, and I think that's really hard to come by. So I want to talk to her again and again. And like I want to chase after her because like I don't want to lose this person. I want to try and get to know this person better. So I think
Yeah.
it's a little more complex. And I think that I'm gonna get absolutely shit on by whoever answers next, and they're just gonna give me a simple one-word answer. But quickly, let's take a shot, and then whoever wants to bounce off of that. But I think it's a pretty deep, a deeply layered question.
More than deep. So do you have an answer to that?
I do, and it's very personal. I'll tell you why I go for girls. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm.
And you get
Sounds
my
fucking
100.
fantastic.
You get my 100% candid answer. So there are things I want to be in life, right? And I have one friend that I have this conversation with, and I'm not gonna name drop him. He has been on your podcast though. He's one of your guests. So we talk about this all the time. So
What do you mean? You're our first guest. What are you talking about, dude? This is the.
Did you mean one of your hosts? Did you mean
Yeah,
one of your hosts?
You're mixing up your podcast.
So hold on. There is one motivating factor in my entire life for anything I do, and that is women. At the end of the day, my career, it's to get a girl. Money I make, it's to get a girl.
Small penis
The-
compensation.
My education that I get, it's to get a girl. So for me, I go for girls because they're almost like checkpoints for me. Because when I date a girl and they're like, they're into me and they do
Yeah.
want to date, they like me for what I am at this current situation. But with my past dating history, what's ended up happening is they all kind of go like, you know what, this is not what I thought I wanted, like about a year 2 years in, and then start moving on. That's when I realized, I'm like, oh, I still have more to do in my life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's two-parter. One part is I get the physical gratification, but the second part is it keeps me in check. Am I in the right spot in my life? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh shit. Yeah.
Right.
are there more things I can learn before I settle down with somebody? So
Right.
so that's kind of how I do it. And I hate to say it, but my entire life revolves around getting that perfect girl. So everything I do almost fucking,
You know what else you're about to do? That's another minute. That's anher shot.
hold on. This
Oh.
one's for you guys.
Thank you so much for
Jesus
listening, everyone. We're gonna end it right there.
I just spilled it all over my chair. Fuck. I was gonna say that's pretty interesting because I kind of have the opposite experience. Let me just take a shot real quick.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting is that, like, throughout all of my life. Okay, I wouldn't say throughout all my life. Let's just say up until the end of high school, I was pretty much so unconfident in myself and like who I was that I never even like thought to go after girls, and I kind of just played it off like, oh no man, I don't care about that, like haha whatever. But like really it was just kind of like an insecurity about like not being confident about myself and stuff. So everything I've ever done has always just come from a place of like I'm just doing whatever I want. So that still bleeds into my life now. Like even when I have gained that confidence and everything like that, I still like it's not a major thought in my mind is like, oh, how is this going to be perceived, or how is this going to help me in this sort of game, or like what am I doing in that sort of thing. It's like I'm so out of touch with that yeah, it's just never crossed my mind at all. I mean it does, but like it doesn't.
So can I, if I may, have an input on that? I feel like I've kind of grown up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely can attest to some of your earlier behaviors and the way you would kind of see the world. You were kind of like, whatever.
Can or can't
know,
attest?
No, I can attest. I can.
Okay.
Or I guess that's not the right word to use. I don't even know what a test means, in all fairness. I just
Yeah,
hear other people.
I asked you to clarify, but I really don't know either.
Okay, now that we've got that on the table.
Okay, well you keep going. I'm gonna look up what a test means.
What I can say is, I know I was part of that with you. I remember you being like that. And what I love about you is that truly and honestly a lot of your growth comes from within, right? you're one of the very rare and few people that I look at and I'm kind of like, there's no ulterior motive. This gentleman here honestly has a vision of himself 10 years down the line, and every day he works towards getting there. And what I love about the one relationship you had, I don't know if it's something you brought up, but I'm just gonna make it hectic, whatever. The one relationship you've had, in
Yeah.
fact, aided you in realizing what you want in your life. And I think that's
Oh,
really cool
totally.
for you. I think that's really cool for you.
Yeah, totally. I think I honestly like that relationship I had was definitely the single best thing I did. Like embarked in my life. Like I learned so much about myself and about what there is to life, what I want out of life and that sort of thing, what I like what people like about me. Or at least this one person likes about me. Yeah, I totally learned a ton in that way. I'm
Also,
forever grateful.
So and on the entire flip side, I brought up daddy issues earlier, but I honestly might have to see a therapist for this because the more I think about it, honestly, all I'm doing sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, I think I'm just doing this for validation because I'm looking for this future partner that's just gonna love the shit out of me. Do you
right.
get what I'm saying?
Oh wow, yeah.
So everything I do, like in my head, I'm like, how can I be perfect? So
Mm,
so no one can say, oh yeah, you're not good enough,
wow.
and that's my motivation.
Real quick, actually, and I like the way you guys answered. I kind of answered from a hypothetical, but I'll I guess the way I'll also go about quickly answering this is kind of what I go for, which I don't know if I know I've obviously talked to someone in this call about it, who's currently possibly guesting. Daniel, I don't know if I've really dived too deep into about kind of what I go for girls really, and Sid knows this, but for me, like I'm almost I guess to a fault, but very big on just like simply effort. So if like
Huh.
I mean like there's yeah, so like you'll okay, I'm gonna sound like such a douche when I say this, but like I talk to there's obviously like a bunch of girls that a person talks to. Um like whether just for quickly take a shot.
Jesus, dude, you're such a slut
You're
for
such
that.
a fucking simp, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I
Fuck
don't
you
even.
guys, alright?
I don't even know what that means.
Does it mean?
So
I thought it meant simpleton. Okay. Anyways, yeah.
no,
continue.
it doesn't. I'll
Okay,
explain
cool.
once we're done recording because dear God, you're wrong. But pretty much like there's so many like there. I'm sorry. No, you know what? I'm gonna explain it to you now. To my understanding, a simp is someone who's known as like, oh, like he'll literally do for like anything for a girl, like to get a girl's attention. It's not simpleton. Someone didn't just
Well, I mean, when the
short
same.
form the word simpleton.
Think about it.
Anyways, so what I what I look for is effort, really. So like, there's
Actually, Dan's right.
no.
Sorry, guys. I'm always right. I think we should
Wait,
just
if he is,
set that as a
we're
precedent
definitely
going
cutting this
forward.
part out if he's right.
Simp.
I think we're putting this as the intro, if I'm right.
A simple person lacking common sense, a fool or simpleton.
Oh,
Man.
that reminds me of a little
Take a
someone I
drink.
know.
Shut up! Take a drink. That's a minute. That's a shot.
It is also a man who foolishly overvalues a woman and puts her
Mhm.
on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
I
Jesus,
fucked
okay,
that
let's
up.
skip over
Someone
that.
called me out on that the other day.
So exactly
It's
what I said.
it's
Yeah.
pedestal, not pedestal. And I say pedestal. This is
Pedestal.
You know, I was really
Okay.
getting deep in opening up to you guys, and now we're talking about Simpsons pedestals.
I'm so sorry. Please go ahead.
No, I mean I'm not mad about it. But
I'm
do
sorry.
I have
I'm a
the
simp
floor?
for that. I'm a simp for that. My bad. My bad. Please continue.
So what I was gonna say was that like there's different girls that you'll talk to, and like even some that you talk to romantically. It's like, yeah, it's great. Like there's a physical attraction, but you don't see them putting in the effort to like ask about your day or like extend a conversation or like really want to go out of the way to see you. Like not all the time, at least, even though there might be something there. But for me, what outweighs like even physical attraction, shit like that to an extent, is real quick, take a shot. Holy shit, I have to pour one. For me, what that would be is literally just getting like having that effort displayed to me. That's kind of what makes me want to be like, oh, okay, well, for whatever reason, this person really wants to put in the work for me for some reason. I don't understand why. But for that reason alone, like if there's obviously another form, like some form of attraction there, like I like who you are, like you're not just putting in effort, but you're a garbage human being, then yeah, I want to make something trying to happen out of that. And I want to chase after that type of girl because it's like, oh, cool. You know, like for someone like me, I guess that doesn't come around as often where like, you know, there's just a girl left and right, like willing to put in that effort. So that's something I kind of value when I see, and when I see them taking that time out of their day to like give me attention, then yeah, I mean that's something I go for. So I guess that's what my big
Jesus.
thing is.
You're
Yeah.
beautiful.
You mean it?
Nah, you're a fucking simp.
I totally understand, Kunal, where you're coming from, but you're a bit of an oddball to me, and
Thanks,
and I
man.
hate and I
Take
hate.
a shot.
Yeah, of course, thanks.
Of course.
Any time I have a friend, and I'm admitting this to you guys, okay? So this is on the podcast just for you. You
This
get
is
content.
forever gonna be part of our lives.
Craig's listening.
This
to it.
is so
Archived.
you get juicy content. It's any time somebody talks to me about one, being in a relationship, or two, the kind of girl they're looking for, especially in our friend group, I already try to psychoanalyze childhoods. That is the first thing I jump to.
Oh,
I'm like,
interesting.
okay, what is this person's attachment style? I try to make sense of why they're looking for this particular girl, why their ideal relationship is XYZ. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know your parents pretty well, Kanal.
Yeah. Take a shot.
Yeah.
So sorry. I hate to keep doing this.
I'm so glad you're doing that and not me.
Yeah, and not anybody else. I appreciate it. But I know your parents, and you don't seem like the kind of guy to have not got the attention or effort put in by your parents. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to me that that's something you value in a relationship,
Yeah.
right? Because the way I look at things is what you look for in a relationship almost overcompensates for what you lacked in your childhood growing up.
Right.
Does that kind of make sense where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, a
So,
perfect example to illustrate that is like, yeah, everything that you alluded to earlier. Like, so I get where you're coming from, and it is strange to me. And I think it's something that I've realized not very recently, but definitely like since I've been in university, I guess. That I don't know. It's very. I mean, it is strange to me too because like, the very simple answer would be just like, oh, like physical attraction, like, oh, she thinks I'm hot, so like nice. But it's not that simple for me, really, ever. Like, obviously, those are nice to haves, and yeah, take a shot. Sid was somehow ahead of the ball there and already took one.
I was just kind of drinking there.
Oh, cool, man. That doesn't worry me.
There was beer all over my desk, by the way. I put a little napkin for me to like absorb the little
Yeah,
spill of
same.
it, and like it's just a fucking mess.
So
I gotta
pouring
let-
it into the shot glass.
I'm
Yeah.
really fucked up right
Perfect, dude. Well, that's also because you had 4 before we started, and I see a bottle of wine beside you. So
Holy fuck.
God knows. Yeah, I mean, I actually, real quick, take a shot.
Cheers, lads.
Real quick, yeah. So I thought it was pretty much at the end of my thought. So yeah, it is kind of bizarre for me that yeah, effort is kind of something that I put above all other things, and it's not like you know.
We should define effort, by the way, and I'd like you to do that.
That's what I was going to, yeah, because it's not like bare minimum Twitter type of effort where it's like, oh my God, she held the door for me, I think I'm in love. It's like, I think it's, and I've shown Sid this, it's for some reason hard for me to illustrate, even though I know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think for me, it's like, kind of like what I alluded to earlier, like you're going out of your way to ask me like how my day was, for example, and like you're putting an effort to extend that conversation.
All right, just
I'm
yeah.
sorry. We're not
What was
cutting
that?
that out. We're not going to cut that out. Sid, we're all FaceTiming right now so we can see each other. And Sid just got up. He asked me that very deep question and got up and
Yeah, he said,
twerked.
no, I want you to continue. I want you to continue.
I want
and
you
then
to continue. And then he got up and twerked. And you know what? First of all, everyone take a shot.
okay.
Second of all,
That is the first time I have ever seen him do that. This is truly a unique moment, and this just makes me think we need a video podcast for this. We need a video podcast episode.
I'm wasted beyond
holy shit. Wait,
comprehension.
why did he take his glasses off? His glasses are fully off.
Holy mother of Lord.
Okay, we're at minute 25. Daniel, do you have one quick question that we could dive into, maybe? One more?
All right, yeah. Let's just do rapid fire, a couple more.
Cool.
These ones are quick. So
Cool.
this one comes from anonymous listener again.
Mhm.
Oh, not really a question, but I guess it's just a nice comment.
Sure.
Hey, I think Daniel's really funny, and I think he's
This
way
is so
funnier than
fucked.
Kunal, and I think
This
that
is
he
fucked.
should do the intros. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, he should do the intros to the episodes. All right, that's interesting. Anyways,
First of
so
all, no. Take a
no,
shot.
that wasn't a
first.
question.
Take a
That wasn't
shot.
a
Then we're
question.
gonna out that person.
All right, so next question. Oh, this one's another just comment. Yeah, Daniel's really Daniel's really the funnier one of the two, and he.
Ladies
should
and
be the one to
gentlemen,
host,
thank you so
and,
much. I hope you enjoyed the questions period of the podcast. This is Bush League journalism.
I was honestly just stalling because I have one question left. And you know what, Sid? I'm gonna actually direct this one to you,
Go for it,
because
buddy.
you're in a beautiful state right now, and also Kanal did hear about this question, and frankly, we're stumped at by this question.
What? Wait. Sorry, did that even remotely sound like a DJ?
Absolutely
Kunal,
not. Okay, so
Kunal,
here's the
reminder
question.
to-
Are you
reminder to
ready?
Cut that in
Are you
post.
ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Party time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Holy shit! He
Wow,
answered it right
that
away.
was so quick.
How were we
Real
stumped
quick,
by that?
take a shot.
And
But someone literally sent. This is the only one I saw. Someone sent us a message when we asked for questions, and the question was "party time?" ?
And we tried to get him to expand, and he absolutely
He refused.
just stayed strong.
He said that's not for us to
Believe
know.
me when I say this. When my eyelids are heavy, my frontal lobe is depressed. Okay, like, and I mean physically, like it's a sponge. It's in its depressed state. Okay, like,
What
you know,
happened to
F equal-
party time?
All right, well, being in a depressed state, I hope you're ready to talk about your
no,
insecurities.
I don't think you understand. Like in a spring formula, you know, when you're, you know, when
Dude,
you're.
don't talk about spring formulas on my podcast.
You
Dude.
Hold
fucking
on,
piece of
hold on.
shit. What the fuck is this?
This is where a brain is supposed to be. Here's where my brain is right now. Okay,
Dude, no one can see your hands, you
For
idiot.
those, no, let me illustrate. So he said where braveness is supposed to be. He showed a full-size Kit Kat bar, and then he said where his is, and it was a quarter left of an Aero bar. I think.
Wow,
I think the
that's
best way to
great. Great use
That's
of chocolate
pretty good,
All
actually.
right, everyone, take a shot real quick.
Of
All right,
course,
so-
it's party time.
bars. I think it's time we switch gears and talk about our insecurities.
Oh god.
So I have a couple of quick fire ones
yeah.
that I can just get us rolling. But I know Kunal and I were talking sort of in confidence before the episode, and you sort of wanted to talk about how you're insecure about embracing your aspirations to become a pornography historian. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
You know what's weird is I do not recall this conversation ever happening, and how dare you? How dare
mean,
you
it's
for
a-
whatever this is?
We're on the podcast. We might as well just talk about it. Like,
But
we
this isn't
talk-
true. This isn't. You know what? Let me start with my actual insecurities, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
And because I
I
think
hope
mine are
this
gonna
was
be...
a clever segue because I don't
No.
know Kunal anymore. If that's the case.
No, I swear to you, it was a lie. Okay, everyone, take a shot
Oh,
first
man.
of all.
I'm really disappointed that you weren't ready to talk about it on a public forum. But that's okay. Stay strong, man. All right. Well, we can talk about your other ones.
Sorry, I think I almost just threw up. Okay,
That's okay.
so insecurity number one, and I think you guys know about this. Daniel, you're going to be very disappointed when you hear this. I can confirm that. Sid, you might know about this.
What?
And people who are listening to this and know me, you might be aware of this too. Insecurity number one is my laugh.
Oh, yeah, I am.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's obnoxiously loud. I think the pitch of it is wrong. The delivery of it is I think the
pitch is wrong.
I think the pitch is wrong, the delivery is bad, and the execution is terrible. I don't like it. I've tried hard to adapt it, and every time I do, I just go back to the same old it ruins everything.
Jesus.
Right?
I mean,
It
no,
ruins-
but you made that really bad. Your laugh is not that bad.
Okay, first of all, everyone quickly take a shot, except maybe Sid, because I think we've lost him.
Sid, why don't you take some good old H2O there, bud?
Mhm.
No, that's. I'm telling you, for the entire hour I'm drinking.
Perfect. So,
And this may be the last time we ever talk to Sid.
I have liver damage.
the worst moments where this laugh really comes out, if I can be frank with you all. By the way, I'm really starting to get a little fucked, and we're at minute 30, so that's perfect. Keith was correct. Thank you, Keith. So,
Is that really
it's like,
it?
let's say we're at like a party or something, right? And like, I say something or someone says something, and there's just my loud ass laugh, and that's it, and it's met by silence. Immediately in my brain, I'm preparing for whatever I'm gonna have to say to not get kicked out of the party. Like, I'm imagining two people grab me by the arms and dragging me out when that happens while I'm yelling, "Please, I host a podcast! I host a podcast!" begging to stay in. That's the position my laugh puts me in. I don't like it. I think it exposes me. Let's take a shot real quick.
Absolutely.
I just don't like the way it sounds at all.
I think you should open up the floor to Daniel and I and how we feel about it.
Yeah,
I'd like.
definitely.
I'd,
I feel
I'd
like
like to.
okay, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Dan, you should start. because I'm pretty
Okay.
passionate about this. So
I'm not passionate at all, but I would say that I've never thought it once in my life about how
Really?
you laugh. Yeah, not at
Oh.
all.
Yeah, I was
Like-
just fucking around.
Yeah.
I think Canal, part of your, and whenever you have me on as a guest, it is what it is. This is what you're gonna get, right? I don't mean to make things super cheesy and stuff like that, but at the end of
No,
the
you
day,
do.
Canal, yeah, it's true. Canal, at the end of the day, what makes you you and so lovable and great is the fact that you're able to fill an entire room with energy.
That's
And
true.
and a lot of that has to do with your laugh. Honest
Wow.
to God, I think that, and you don't even realize this, that when someone says anything remotely funny, and usually if it's not me saying it and it's somebody else saying it and you laugh, it's probably bullshit, but you still laugh. And it
Right.
fills the entire room with energy. And you have the power to make a person feel so proud of themselves to be able to make you laugh like that. And I don't want you to ever lose that fucking laugh. Plain and simple. To me,
Wow.
it is one of your greatest
Holy
qualities.
shit.
And it
I
is a byproduct and side effect of energy that you bring into a room, into a group, into people you've never met before. And I'm not even joking about that. Plain and simple, that's what it is. So if you feel insecure about it, I would change your line of thinking right now.
Frankly, I feel like it asked for my answer because you said that, and you said that, and I said I'd never thought of it, and I don't care.
Honestly, no, both answers are great to hear. Just one of them almost made me cry. Let's take a shot real quick while I digest that.
Just like in the off chance, did mine almost make you cry? Was it me or was it Zed? Because I feel like
Between me and
you
you,
know, I mean,
between me and you, it was yours. It absolutely was yours.
thanks,
I
brother.
I feel like I may give off the impression that maybe I just kind of make shit up. You know what I mean? To make people feel good about themselves. But at the end of the day, I don't. The both of you are very close to me personally because I care about you. You know what I mean? And
Right.
there's a lot of things I love about you. Kanal, one of those things is your laugh. Okay?
Wow.
Don't feel insecure about that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
fuck
Love,
guys.
man. That's
I love
ridiculous.
you. I love everything about you, and your laugh is one of them.
Wow. I'm really glad we did this. This has already helped so
That was
much.
beautiful.
Do you guys want to dive into yours?
I feel like okay, I want to talk about these two because I thought of them in that they aren't really something that I'm actually insecure about, but they were previously, and like I've kind of just embraced them now, and I don't really care about them at
Real
all. But I
quick,
thought it'd be
before you
interesting
dive-
to kind of like
real
talk
quick
about.
before you dive
You
into it,
can
let's
tell
take
me
a
to take a
shot. And then,
shot.
yeah, get
Son
into
of
Why
a-
don't you
it.
just
Yo,
put
this
your
is getting
finger up
really
on the
hot.
I
ball?
have been doing that, and everyone ignores me. So that's why I've been speaking out loud. Every time I put my finger up, you guys just ignored me.
I'm
Well, I
at the
usually just
level of
ignore you in
drunk where I'm
general.
blind, to be fair. So, but go
Okay,
ahead.
well, I'll try the finger. I'll try the finger, and if you ignore me, I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs. Take a shot.
Yeah, do it into the mic and just ruin the show.
You got
That'd
it.
be
You
good.
got it. You got it.
Okay. Ooh, excuse me. So the first one, I was just gonna like, cause these are like physical, so I feel like it's just they're easy. It's just, but yeah, it's not being able to grow a beard it bothered me for a really long time, and I
Wow,
think
that's
to
a
this
good one.
day it doesn't. It's not something I'm insecure about, but it's like, oh, I kind of wish I could do that. Like
Right.
everyone kind of has those things. It's like, I wish I could dunk a basketball, or like I wish I could, I don't know, like run a. I guess I'm just thinking of like physical things. Like I wish I could run a marathon or something. It's kind of like it doesn't really matter, but I mean, I guess I can't work on, uh, like growing a beard like you can work on trying to dunk or whatever. But I think for a while it bothered me just because, especially part of like the general culture and growing up, like it has a bigger effect. Like having a beard is like super manly, and it's kind of like you're a tough like burly guy if you can grow a beard, and like the fact that I couldn't just like made me feel like really emasculated.
Interesting.
Yeah. But like now I literally don't care at all.
Yeah.
Or I don't care at all. I still would rather have one. I think it'd be like fun
I
to
feel
have,
that.
and I experiment with it and stuff. But
Yeah, I think that's a good segue to from a conversation we're having earlier this week about my patchy beard. Actually, quote unquote beard.
yes.
Sorry, excuse me, because it's not even a beard. I have the exact same thing. I wish I could grow one, and I can in a way, but it's patchy as fuck, and it doesn't really look that great. Sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt myself because I'm let's talking. Let's take a shot real quick. But I actually feel that, but I don't think that well, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that you don't really care about it now because I think you're pretty well established to be quite far by far if not the most, one of the most handsome men in our friend group, and you're doing it
Jesus.
without a beard.
Agreed.
Right? And you're doing it without a beard. So yeah, I would get the fuck over that if you haven't already gotten over that, because you do not need a beard, my friend. Actually, it'd be unfair if you had a beard. So God did us a solid by not giving you.
I-
Oh my
Okay,
God.
listen. So there was this girl I used to see on and off, and I consider her my best friend, but I was weird about it. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is she put me on this thought process, and she was like, "Beards are just makeup for men.
Yeah.
Dan, you don't
Yeah.
need it. You don't need it, and you're handsome as fuck without it. Fuck it.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
fuck
Thank you,
that
guys.
shit, man. 100%.
Anyone who doesn't believe beards are makeup for men, I'd like you to look at a picture of James Harden without a beard, and then tell me. For men, everyone take a shot real quick to that amazing joke, and because it was a minute, and yeah, no,
That is true. That is
Uh,
absolutely true.
Sid, what about you then? I guess let's circle back to you. What about you?
Man, I don't know if you saw me on FaceTime at all, but I've been trying to think about it for uh, the past 2 minutes to give you the most honest answer I can. I'm just gonna give you my honest answer. I don't know if it's, what you're looking for, but uh, essentially,
Oh boy.
Oh dear God.
oh fuck. Okay,
Here it
like I
is.
said, going back to the grown up thing, right? For me, survival was I had to look in the mirror and tell myself I was good enough all the time, and I had to tell myself I was great all the time. And something I struggle with is a bit of like narcissistic tendencies. Grab a shot, by the way, guys. So for me, I just want to be good at everything. It bothers me to my core when somebody's able to tell me and to say that, hey, I don't think you're good enough to do this, right? So a lot of my insecurities at the end of the day, I think, can be boiled down to something called imposter syndrome. I always worried growing up and growing into my career about people putting me into a particular box, right? People try to figure me out all the time, and I don't blame them because it's something I do to people around me. It's human nature, right? We try to classify people around us and we say, hey,
Yeah.
this person is capable of this and this and this, but I just want to be good at things that people don't think I can be good at. And sometimes that comes from relationships I have, sometimes it comes from a boss, sometimes it comes from a peer I really value. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another shot, but
So my
Jesus, this is getting tough.
insecurity is always not being good enough. I hate it, bothers me to my core when I have somebody in my life that I value and they tell me, you're not good enough. Nothing hurts me more than that. And it propels me and drives me, I guess. But I guess if that counts,
No,
it's
absolutely.
it's
Absolutely shit.
it's never one particular thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no reason that shouldn't count. I think, real quick, Daniel, before you chime in, um, again, this is something that you and I have talked about before in the past, but one of the things that I can never credit you enough for is how I know about that. I know that exists, and sorry, real quick, let's take a shot. I'm about to die. Like minute
Dude, this
40,
is so
like
hard.
100%. I'm
shit.
telling you, we should have done one
Dude,
every 2 minutes.
And I feel bloated as
You-
fuck. Okay, let's
Okay,
take a
you
shot.
said that because you had 4 beers beforehand.
Also true. Also true.
Not fair. Not fair.
You underestimated from the beginning, and that's why you're paying your dues now.
You're putting me in a box right now, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh, shit, sorry.
How dare you?
You're a fucking imposter for that. Okay, Kano, what were you saying? Oh, Jesus, he's about to puke. Oh my God, he's about to puke.
I am fully taking a
This is
piss.
Guys, this is only 2/3 of it. This is 2/3 of
No,
it.
it was a lot of burps, and if things went south, then yeah, it would be projectiling. But I'm good. Well, what I was going to say was one of the things that I can never credit him enough for is the fact that he's able to convert that, I guess, insecurity into something positive. Like he uses
Yeah.
that to drive him. Literally, like I said at the top, meme himself into these situations. Like he uses that to propel himself into these fantastic situations, and it
Totally.
literally drives him to do these amazing things that he does. And that's a very, very, like, that you should never want to take credit away from yourself for that, because so many people convert that type of energy into something negative and allow themselves to be trapped in that box and not expand on that, never try and break outside of it. But you handle it very differently, and I think that that's something that can't be overlooked at all.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I think like especially when I think about my friend group, like as I've gotten older, I take inspiration for certain things from like different people. And Sid, one of the things that is like uncanny about him is that he's just able, like, instead of like you said, going internally and saying like, oh, like I'm suck, I'm not worthy, I suck, I'm not. I said I'm suck. Jesus, this is
I am
fucked.
suck.
I
I'm
am
too
sucked
suck.
for this. No, but yeah, like instead of internalizing it, like maybe I would naturally,
Yeah.
his response is like, yeah, well, fuck you. I am gonna do that. And then like I've even doubted him myself. There's like, Sid, what are you doing? Like, why would you ever get into this situation? I've thought these thoughts, but over time, I've just learned to trust that Sid is like pretty much capable of just materializing anything in his life to make it happen for himself, and just like opening up my world to like, wow, we really are capable of just doing these things if like we just truly have the desire to do them, and just like open it up the world that way, like just on pure inhibition. That's a positive side of like what comes from that insecurity. I guess I just hope that it comes from the right place and not that like, if it can come from a better place,
And I explained
which is more gratifying.
I explained that motivation in the beginning. A lot of times it's girls, you know what I mean? A lot of times in my life it's been girls that said, I don't think
Yeah.
you're good enough for this, and I don't think, and it goes back to that. But Dan, and I want you to hear this, and I want Kunal to hear this. You're one of the guys I look up to. Honest to God, honest to God. And let's take a shot, by the way.
Cheers to that. Oh Jesus.
I look at you and I'm like, God damn, that's a fucking killer. You know when you watch the Raptors playoffs and you gave Kawhi the ball and you're like, that's a killer right there. Dan, that's what you are to me. So for you to say those things, that means a lot to me. And I'm not entirely sure again what the tone of the podcast is supposed to be. I just hopped on here and I'm gonna drink and
I
I'm gonna
think
pour
we're figuring it out right now.
Yeah, as we
literally.
go
and
along,
I'm
yeah.
gonna pour my god dang heart out to you guys. But Dan, and Kunal, just you guys are my rocks in my life before you even I don't know if you even know that, I love being here. I love being on the podcast. I love having the both of you in my life. I mean that, and I don't know what else to say.
Jesus.
Well,
I wanna
there's-
I wanna hug you guys right now. I wanna have a huddle.
I
but
know,
We
I
need
know.
to we
I'm
need to
like,
socially
I
distance
hate
right now.
that we're socially Okay, let's quickly take a shot to that and try not to
Yo,
throw.
guys, honestly, like I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but like fuck the coronavirus, right?
Hey man,
Like,
I'm gonna
let's
have to.
fucking-
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. I know I look up to you and
What?
all that, but
I take it all back.
actually, this guy is a killer because he's spreading misinformation.
Because he said fuck the coronavirus. All right, well we're at minute 43. We did have
No,
to
I'm
take-
having fun. Don't
we
do
did have
this
to
to me.
take. We still got a ways to, dude. This is gonna be a long 17 minutes for me if that math adds up. But well, so we'll quickly circle. We'll do a quick lap. I hope everyone has a second thing planned out. For some reason, it was hard for me to think of useful insecurities or like good insecurities to bring up that I actually like truly feel to my heart. And the only one that I had was my laugh until literally, I shit you not, 2 minutes before we started recording when I accidentally popped a whitehead on my nose, and that would bring up insecurity number 2, which is my nose. And let's take
Oh,
a
what?
shot real quick. Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought you were gonna go something way different. Your nose.
There was
Your
just a lot
fucking
going
nose?
on there.
Okay.
Please, I'd love to hear
So-
more.
Oh god.
So something that Daniel, I've talked to you about this and said I've talked to you about this. Like,
Have you? I don't remember.
I don't
ever
think
talking
you
about your
have.
nose.
no, not the nose part. What I'm about to say.
Oh, okay.
Is that what people for some reason give me credit for is like, when you and I get into an argument, I have no idea what to attack you for, and because like they don't know like what insecurities to look for and directly go after, like if it's like heated. And so for me, it's like the laugh and now the nose are not anything like that I can generally feel like I can like actually be attacked for and feel offended for. However, the more I thought about it, although the nose isn't a major insecurity, I would still list it as one simply due to the fact that, oh God, 1 sec. That's another
Oh
minute.
man, I am drunk as balls.
Yeah, that's another minute.
Oh my god. Are we gonna survive this or?
I went to go
Like
grab
at this point, my
charger
arms are
and fell.
shaking.
Yeah,
My
My
arms are
stomach
shaking.
has
What
never
what
felt
did you
this
guys spike your
gross.
drinks with, by the way?
I spiked my alcohol with more alcohol, if that makes a difference.
Wait. What did you spike yours with?
I thought we were putting Percocets in it.
Dear God, what have you done?
Are you guys not shaking right now?
Dude, you're jittering. You're jittering.
I'm a jitterbug.
Jitterbug. Sorry.
Okay, wait, talk about more about your
Yeah.
nose,
Sorry. So again, it's not a major one, but I think one of the things that like I'm least proud of, physically speaking, is my nose, and not due to its shape or anything like that, but actually, so like for my T-zone, my forehead and nose. Oh God, take another shot.
I don't know why I found it so funny that you said T-zone. It's
a
always
thing.
funny when like someone knows T-zone.
My mom taught me.
Someone knows.
That's cool, dude.
Oh no. Okay. So for me, my forehead and nose get extremely oily, but my nose breaks out in a major way, like always, pretty much. And
okay.
I know that like acne is normal and all that. Like again, like this isn't like something major for me that actually haunts me every single day. But at the same time, like I hate it so much. Like I hate when I have like that. I literally become Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it's the absolute worst.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your insecurity.
No, that's perfectly fine. I actually very much welcome it and encourage it. Because again, this isn't like something
okay,
major.
you loser. Oh,
take it easy.
sorry.
Easy does
kidding.
it. Easy does
kidding.
it. Hack chickian. Okay, you
Oh,
crossed the
Jesus.
goddamn line there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm insecure about my last name. Oh man, you need to recover from that, huh? You really need to talk about your nose, man. You can't.
Yeah,
We're
man.
gonna need to keep taking shots.
I'm sorry. These shots are messing me up more and more. So yeah, it's just the fact that like when it breaks out, it gets pretty bad. Like there's big ass red zits on it, and like all these white heads and black heads that pop up. And so it's just like I hate the way that it looks, and I know it doesn't, or at least I don't know if it does or not. But the way I look at it, sometimes like, oh, like this kind of maybe takes away from like my appearance a little bit too, like with how outlandishly disgusting this is. That's when it would be really bad. It thankfully hasn't. I'm gonna knock on wood. I think it hasn't been that bad as of recent. But there's still some times, like actually, literally, like this past week, where like this huge red thing, I just wake up and it's there on my nose. I'm like, dude, fuck you for this. I hate this. People, you're so lucky I'm quarantined right now, motherfucker. Because if other people could see this, we'd be having a serious conversation.
You're just punching your face in the mirror. Whenever you get acne.
But yeah, no, literally, like 2 minutes before we started recording, like I was like kind of like scratching like my nose, not even scratching, but like kind of like stroking my finger like across like the left side of my nose. I'm like, oh my God, it's like way more greasy than normal. Like I kept doing it, and I looked, and I'm like, oh God, my fingers are red. I popped something.
Yeah.
So literally, that's what struck the memory. Oh yeah, I guess that's another one. Not major.
I would love to say that this is actually where I thought you were going with this, and I'm glad because it was actually something I was going to bring up, which was acne, and again, it's not something that I'd particularly say I'm insecure about to this day. I think it's more so something I've embraced, but I definitely feel that, yeah, it's not something pleasant. It's something that I wish I didn't have to deal with, especially too. Now that I'm like 23, I'm like, sorry, can I just like be over it? Like, isn't this more of like a high school thing? Like, for God's sakes, cheers. But yeah, I think I've more so embraced it. And I'm kind of just like, well, I'm just gonna do the best with what I'm given, sort of thing. Like if I have acne, I don't really care. But the thing that really bothers me about it intrinsically is that how it's perceived is that it looks like I don't take care of myself, or that I'm lazy or something, or like they get like there's this innate impression that I have a lack of confidence just because I have acne. Like that's what is portrayed when you have acne, when really it's the opposite. Like I've because of it, I've developed like a really serious
100%.
routine.
Yeah. I get
to
that,
keep it sort of at bay. But so that's the only thing I don't like about it, is that like it's perceived in a certain way. I don't really care about how it makes me look in a particular way. And I've more so like embraced that as it's gone on. Like it's just something I deal with. Like it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I guess the way it's perceived is still kind of bothersome.
Yeah,
I
So
don't
yeah, I
if,
totally share that with you.
I
if I
understand that.
may if I may go ahead and interject.
Absolutely not.
By the way, real quick, that was minute 50. 10 more minutes to go, boys. Let's keep chugging along.
Wow, that's what? Actually, I feel like I'm good for this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have drank before it.
I think this right now is the time I learned that nobody gives a shit, dude. I'm gonna be real with you right now. Your worst enemy is the both of you. Because not once have I noticed a single pimple on your face, Kunal. I don't even know what to call
yeah,
it.
Kunal, I know you said like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I
like
laughed at,
that
which
is
is
such a
just funny
you
off the
thing,
joke
man.
itself, but
Really?
I
Literally
literally
this
never
whole,
noticed it
literally
once.
this
Dude.
whole week it's been there.
And absolutely cheers
Dude,
to that.
no.
Absolutely a shot to that.
So I fucking oh yeah, true.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've literally never noticed on your face, by the
I'm
way.
joking. Sorry.
Oh my god, he's finally dying.
Yes, that's good. Put me out of my misery. Kunal, I put you on my story today, and all I could think of was, "Oh my god, he looks so handsome. This is really good. I feel good about posting this." Daniel, like, how many times have I told you how attractive you are to me? Not once have I ever been like, "Oh yeah, that guy's pimples get in the way." Like literally every image of you I have in my brain has, like, it's not even a thing I think about. Like it's insane to me. It's insane to me how much you guys stress about these things, acne. Now, okay, privilege check, to be fair, if that makes sense. I have clear skin thanks to my mom, but looking at the both of you, not once was ever like, damn, you guys have a lot of acne.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
Dan, at the end of the day, you guys are like, Dan, I'm and Kunal, you can hop in.
Yeah, yeah.
I still think you're the most handsome guy in our friend group.
I've said it
Jesus.
before, I will say it again.
Not even once was I like, oh yeah, oh man, that guy's acne. And I just want to share a quick tidbit that makes me feel better about my body issues. Right? Like for me, I was always like, oh, I don't think I'm fit enough. I've got a bit of a, love handle situation as a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the more I listen to you guys, the more I'm like, this is completely self-inflicted. Like 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
100%. At the end of
And
the
you know
day,
what?
like,
I love you guys for saying that. It was very kind. But I do feel like I'm in a position now where it doesn't really bother me in terms of how it comes off, how attractive I am or whatever.
Right.
I just don't like the fact that I think innately when you see someone with acne, like you see someone that it's like, oh, this person doesn't take care of their face. You know what I mean? This person doesn't take the time to take care of their face. And then it's like a perception of who they are as a person. And I don't like that aspect of it. And I guess that's still something that bothers me
man,
now.
fuck them. At that point, it's just like if a person is willing to make a
Totally agreed.
fucking call and say like, oh yeah, this person doesn't care about their skincare routine, and I'm just
Yeah,
gonna,
you can only do so much, right?
at that point, it's just like, go fuck your hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, go buy a nice hat from Lids and go fuck it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
It's like, do you know that I wake up every morning and I use a fucking non-comedic cleanser and then I put on a fucking toner and then I put on a
No
non-comedic
way.
moisturizer and then I do the same thing every night and I dab my face without rubbing it and I use a separate towel.
Do we have time for one last
specific
question?
soap.
We're on minute.
By the way, I still haven't talked about a real
Oh.
my actual
Oh
insecurity.
my
Dive in.
god, I'm so sorry.
We're on minute 54, but we have time. No worries.
Okay, I'll just divulge this quickly because I actually was gonna do something completely different, but then like I was originally gonna talk about I'm insecure about being unintelligent or being forgetful or being not being independent, but then I realized literally like half an hour before this podcast started that all of this, the root of all of that, is because I have this like view of myself of being juvenile, of still being a kid, a teenager, not like essentially being a boy instead of a man, that I can't like handle myself, and I project that onto other people around me too. Like even I used to see you guys, like my friends and people around me, as they're stressed out about life and they're they're not willing to take on responsibilities and things like that, and they're not ready for stuff. Jesus, another fucking.
I was literally about to call it. Good job, Sid.
My God. And I've it's taken a lot of self work to move on from that, and I am at a point where I feel that more than ever, like I trust myself, and I feel good about who I am as a person. But yeah, all of that stuff like just comes to the fact that like I still view myself as a kid, and whenever I was insecure about the fact that I still live with my parents, or the fact that like I forgot something and messed up something in my life, or I was unorganized about this, or like I still have a messy room, or like I still have um, I'm not like intelligent in this one way, or like I wasn't clever when I said that. It all just stems back to the fact that like I still feel like a kid, and like I want to just be an adult now. And like every year I'm like, Jesus, I'm 21. Like I shouldn't be dealing with this shit. I'm 21. I'm old. Like I'm an adult now. Or it's
You're
like I'm
21.
22. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean now I'm 23, obviously. But
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys know we're not old like at all, right? Not even remotely.
Well,
Not even remotely.
But also, that's the thing though, is that especially being in school and having that mentality, like you use it as a shtick. Like I hate using that word. It's like it's like an excuse to not live up to certain things. It's like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. Like I'm just like a kid in school or whatever. Like I don't care, whatever.
Right.
And like it really stopped me from doing a lot of things, and pursuing a lot of things, because I wasn't confident in myself. I'm just like, I don't deserve this. Like I'm just a dumb kid. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's another shot. Cheers.
You know what I love about you, Dan? Is that you're
What's that?
you're just a layered person. I think my favorite thing about you is
Sorry, real quick. I just love to say that ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
So I hope, Sid, this stops you from whatever nice thought you were about to make. Looking at your face,
I'm done. I'm
pissed at him for that. I'm
I'm
angry.
so sorry. You were gonna say
You've made your point. You've made your joke, and guess what, buddy? You're done with it. Okay.
I'm insecure about that joke.
Real quick, let's take
Yeah.
a shot. This will be shot number 58, and then Sid, go ahead and make your point.
You know what? That's why. That was shot 57. I wouldn't have made that joke if that was shot 40. If that was shot 30. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sid.
I lost my train of thought.
Real quick,
Oh, no.
let me quickly say something while Sid gets that back. Daniel, I don't mean to put you on blast, and I don't know if this is something you'd rather I not say, and we can always cut it out and post if it's not. But I know that before we started this podcast, one of the things that branching in that umbrella of kind of like those overall insecurities was you're not even necessarily public speaking, but literally even just like talking in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
Sid knows this. I don't bullshit things like this because I think
He does. He bullshits all the time. But
absolutely, sir. I think if I lie about something like this, I'm not doing that person any favors. I'm putting them in a bad position by giving them the false confidence. Real quick, let's take shot number 59. Real quick.
Oh my God.
Okay. I like even listening to just the past few episodes that we have recorded, and kind of listening to just like whatever we have in our backlog and what we've done so far. You can hear a progressive, obviously an increase in quality in both of us and how we've recorded this, but I can hear how much more comfortable you are and how much better you are at speaking in front of a microphone and telling these stories and just being yourself in front of the microphone and not just subconsciously knowing there's a microphone in front of you and saying some bullshit that you wouldn't have normally said in a normal conversation. And that alone, whether or not that was an insecurity, it definitely shouldn't be now, because that just shows how quickly you can pick up something like that and tackle it. And that is to your credit. Not a lot of people can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, let's raise our shot glasses, raise our cans, whatever, because we're about to take shot number 60. We made it. Here we go.
We made it, boys. Cheers to you, lads. There it is.
You guys hear me throw up?
I'm about to. But real quick, Sid, Dan and I both told two. If you have a second one, we can quickly dive into that, and then we'll wrap this up. Do you have anything that you wanted to share to kind of top this off?
Just to add to Dan, you'll always be my Kawhi Leonard. You'll always be improving every year to me. You'll always be a goddamn stone cold killer on the court, and you're my rock, man. You know,
Love you, buddy.
just grow at your own pace, dude. And I support you every step of the way. Straight up. I believe in you a lot. I don't really have too many insecurities
That's fine.
compared, like, in the context of what you guys talking about.
Right.
I think I explained it. Technically speaking, my insecurity could be anything, depending on who I value in my life and what they say I
Right.
can't do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if a person I really want in my life, and I'm not naming any names, and an ex told me that I was uninspiring and that I'm not enough of an activist and that I'm not I'm not stoic enough, I guess. So for me, those are my current insecurities. Does that make sense? Like, it'll always change, but those are the three
Yeah.
things I'm working on
And
right now.
again,
Does that you know what I
actively
mean?
working on them. Something a lot of
Yeah.
people don't do.
But okay, a question about that. Do you feel that like you're just working on it because that's
Right,
something
right.
someone called you out on, or like did this person like really awaken that in you and it's like, oh, you know what, I am actually.
It's a bit of both. I always knew I had to work on it, but until I met this person, I didn't realize how important it was for me to prioritize it.
Right,
Does
right.
that make sense?
Did you ever
Interesting.
seek
Yeah.
the opinions of people that were not this ex significant other about those very things that she called you out for and saw and tried to gauge whether or not they had the same perspective or not? Or did you just take that one sample size and kind of move forward with that?
Um, I could have
Mhm.
talked to my friends about it. I could have said, "Hey, Kunal, hey Daniel, hey whoever, am I good enough?" But I knew what your answer was gonna be. I knew your answer was gonna be, "Yeah, you're good enough, Sid." That wasn't enough for me. I needed a foreign person to come into my life and tell me that, Sid, I think you could be better in these aspects of your life. I needed to hear that, and I want to work on it to prove to myself
Right.
that person's not in my life anymore. I don't expect them to be in the near future, maybe in the late future. I respect that person a lot, but that's something now I've challenged myself to fix. There's a bigger problem at stake here, I think, and it has less to do with insecurities. It has more to do with self-identity. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I want to be. Um, but I kind of take it day by day. And people that I cross paths with,
Right.
do you know what I'm saying? They'll always teach me what to get better at. And
Mm,
as much as I love the people in my life that
Right.
support me and are grateful for me, they're grateful for me for who I am today, not who I could be tomorrow. And
yeah.
what's unfortunate is that these people that I may villainize sometimes are actually motivating me to push myself out of my own box that I create for
Right.
myself and maybe get better.
Yeah.
And I could never antagonize someone that does that for me. And whoever hears this, I love that person to death. I always will. And I'm gonna work on it. It is what it is. I don't know who I am, who I'm gonna be, but I'm
Right.
gonna try and be the best I can in every aspect of life. And this is one of those things I'm gonna work on. These are
Mhm.
the three things I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Will it change 3 years from now? Maybe, but I want to prove to myself and the people around me that I can do it. That's my insecurity. I want nobody to be
Right.
able to say you're
Right.
not good enough, you know?
Holy shit.
Well,
That was
first of
amazing.
all, I hope you know that out of all of your friends, these two podcast hosts absolutely will support you through that movement and give you their honest opinions. I think that that's pretty much the perfect spot to kind of close up on here. Sid, thank you so much for joining us for this power hour. I'd like to thank you, first of all, for walking through this deep, dark insecurity path with us and giving us that comfort or that validation along the way. And I hope you know that we wanna make sure that we're that exact same pillar of reinforcement for you at the same time. And literally, if there's anything else you need, if it's not on this podcast, you can always still contact us directly. Our schedules are free enough.
Guys, I love you to death. Thank you for having me on. I respect you guys a ton. I look up to the both of you in many different ways. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. And I cannot wait for this to blow up. Thank you.
Love you too, buddy. Thanks for being
Thank
on. As always, once
incredible.
again, first of all, I'd like to thank every single person who submitted a question for this episode, whether it was for me, for Daniel, for Sid, for all of us. Let's quickly, guys, let's take one more shot before I go ahead and wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad we survived through this power hour. I will 100% puke my brains out when we're done here. With these questions that we got today, I'd like to restate that we always very much love and encourage any feedback you may have for us. Any questions you may have that you'd like to submit, please, if you're following our Instagram, DM them to us on our Instagram, or email us at dan.and.kunal@gmail.com. We're going to alternate every episode. So
Yes,
this
sir.
episode I went in blind. The next episode Dan will go in blind, and we'll keep that going throughout. We'll always make sure one person's going in blind. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes it a
really
little more
fun.
interesting. If you know us, you like what we're doing here, and you'd like to be on the show, please do feel more than welcome to reach out to us and let us know. We'd love to have you on. We're constantly putting people in and out of the schedule, mainly out because we fucking hate our friends. Just kidding. Thank you so much once again for listening to yet another episode of the I May Regret This podcast. Once again, we are now officially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We will also be hosted on Daniel's website. Daniel, thank you so much for taking care of that once again. We'll drop the link for that wherever we promote it.
Of course.
Those are 3 places you can listen to us. And until next time, we will see you next week for yet another episode of the I May Regret This podcast. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight.
Rolling in a beam. I don't wanna see you pull up, it's a hectic scene. I don't wanna see you, me and Govi on the beat. What you mean? We gon' win. We be zooming through the cities on the west side.